How's it going, everybody? This is Cameron White with White Light Astrology, giving you guys your weekly forecast of what the heck is going on in the universe. Let's see, this week, we're going to start with Sunday, July 23rd, and with Sunday, July 30th. For this video, there's not a whole lot going on. There is a lot of extra energy still left off from last week when I went really in detail of what was going on with this 11-day Grand Fire Trine. Today is Sunday, the 23rd, so we're still experiencing this new moon in Leo. However, before I get into the astrology, I'd like to make a quick announcement. Last week I had a poll, basically, or I should say, what's the word I'm looking for? Anyway, if you shared my video, you entered in for free reading. The winner for the free reading is Sanja Jophielle Eden. I can't pronounce your last name. You tagged me on Facebook. If you watch this video, feel free to give me a message on Facebook. You want a free reading from me, and we'll get that all set up. However, anyway, today is Sunday the 23rd. We just got out of this new moon in Leo, and wow, it was pretty interesting. Really interesting energy. This whole Leo new moon energy is about, now that it was, it's so funny that the moon went all the way through Cancer just to end right on the new moon, right at the beginning of Leo. And this whole new moon energy is about regaining that fun, that pleasure, the inner child, the romance, all that Leo passionate type energy. And a lot of it is really about embracing your own inner power. Leo has a lot of inner power, has a lot of positive vibrations, a lot of radiating energy to give. And it was really about stepping into that role of I shouldn't say stepping into that role, but stepping into that energy that you have inside of you with that, and seeing how you can express it and share it with this world. What areas in your life can you really fully be yourself, fully use your power, and fully be authentic to yourself, and how can you experience more fun with that? How can you experience more lightheartedness with that? This is all about experiencing you and experiencing what you have for this world, what you have in your immediate environment for your friends, your family, your loved ones, your kids. It's about how can you be more of your authentic self, and what does that look like? By giving more to other people, and you'll be receiving more from other people. However, Sunday we have this new moon in Leo. It's right on top of Mars too. That's another big deal. With this being on top of Mars, this is moving forward energy. This is gaining momentum. This is gaining ground. This is taking action on all this type of stuff. This isn't about, like if Mars is like in Virgo or Libra, or like about analyzing the decision and working towards your health and working towards all that kind of stuff. This is about Mars and Leo. This is about take forward movement on that, on your pride, on your, I don't want to say your ego in this, the spiritual community has such a horrible outlook on the word ego. There's an ego, and then there's also being aware of who the fuck you are. Now, having an ego is very detrimental, very, when you're not in your alignment of who you are, but ego, healthy ego, is how you know how to be your authentic self. It's what separates us. Otherwise, we'd all be, namaste, how are you, this and that kind of stuff. Develop that ego, and with this Mars and Leo energy, you can kind of feel a little bit aggressive, kind of feel a little bit impatient with things, and just very, there's just a lot of fire energy, especially with this Grand Fire Trine stuff going on. However, with this new moon on top of Mars, what are you going to take action? Where are you putting your intentions into? And with this in Leo, this is about, like I was talking about before, putting yourself first, being your most authentic, full self, living life with confidence, with energy, with all this fire, with all this passion, with Uranus here and Saturn here, even though the Sun and Mars and Moon are squaring Uranus, and they'll eventually start trining it. However, as it's squaring Uranus, it's still kind of things are going really up and down, because now it's two fire energies that aren't getting along, so it's extreme up and down. So ride that as best as you can. However, let's get back to what's going on every single day. There's not a lot going on every single day. There's no big shifts or anything. Today on Sunday we have the new moon in Leo. Saturn and Venus fully have their opposition at 21 to 22 degrees. With this whole Venus and Saturn opposition, it's really about gaining clarity on, I shouldn't say gaining clarity. This whole Venus and Mars and Gemini and going through the Gemini season, it was so mentally stimulating. It showed us a lot of change. It showed us a lot of new opportunities. And with all of that, with Venus now, really enjoying all of it, seeing the manifestations of all the change that we experience, it's time to, really look at where are we going with this. Saturn's in retrograde. Don't use this time, use this time for your advantage. Saturn's in retrograde in Sagittarius. Where are you pushing all your energy? Where's the big picture leading you? Where do you need to discipline yourself more? What's your outward focus? What's your vision? Plan towards that. Don't get caught up in your immediate environment. And then as we go into tomorrow on Monday, the Mars and Sun will start conjuncting. This is when big things are happening left and right. Be very, very aware. Be very conscious of where you're taking your action, where you're putting yourself into, where you're putting your energy into, because it's going to lead to a lot of different things, and you're going to see yourself get pulled in a lot of different directions, and you're going to see yourself, get really emotionally involved, because now we have the Sun here and Mars right here. You're going to be like, man, I want to take action now. I want to do this now. I totally encourage that, but what I encourage right now is full awareness. This week, if you go by this week and you're just having fun with the energy and not being aware, you just wasted one of the greatest times of 2017. Be fully aware this week of where you're going, what you're doing, where you're putting your energy into, and use that to your advantage. Be aware of where you're going, where you want to take things, because that's where all this energy is going to come into play. Because if you're just in the moment, you're just being with, how great that, that's very, very great. However, that's not going to lead to where you want to be coming up in August for the next 30 days. Because the next moon cycle we got, besides, the full moon in Aquarius, then we're going to have the solar eclipse. It's a lot of stuff, guys, and I'm going to do a couple more videos about it, because we're really starting to get this. This is where all this energy is leading up to now. Then tomorrow on Monday, the moon and Mercury will conjunct the North Node. This is having that idea, that mindset that, I'm focused, I'm clear, I know where I'm going, this is the way I'm supposed to feel, this is the way I'm supposed to be vibrating, this is the energy I'm supposed to be wearing, the essence of it. That's all kind of good stuff. It's all about, of course, being fully aware of who you are and what power you have to give to people, what energy you have to give, what energy you have to receive, what's your worth, what do you want, what's your heart's desire. Play with your inner child. What is your heart's desire, and go towards that. Emotionally invest in it. Put it in your daily mindset with this Mercury stuff and North Node. And with the North Node, this is where we gotta go. This is where we, the whole universe is putting this energy of, it's really time to step up to who you are, and it's time to step up to what kind of world that you can create. And this week is really going to show us that. And then as Tuesday goes into effect, Moon will go into Virgo, and Venus will sextile Uranus. This is when things are going to get crazy. As Venus sextiles Uranus, it's still going to be opposing Saturn. This is throwing things left and right, extreme ups and downs, this whole Uranus and Aries energy. Be sure to be as, like I said, as aware as you possibly can, especially before this Venus and Uranus sextile. It's going to be great. It's going to be a lot of good ups and downs, I guess you could say. However, it's still going to be really extreme, so just make sure. It's kind of like if you're riding a roller coaster and you're like, oh, I want to ride this roller coaster, it's going to be great, but a couple of the turns and loops, you're like, whoa, I was not ready for it to be that insane. Just be very conscious of that kind of stuff. The Moon in Virgo, as it opposed Neptune, we're starting to get away from this Neptune energy until I think it's Friday and Saturday we get into the Moon in Scorpio. However, this Neptune energy with the whole Pisces stuff, you gotta get away from, you gotta detach from the emotions, you gotta detach from the confusion. You're not confused, you're not lost, you stop, questioning yourself and double taking yourself. You fucking know the answer. You know what you gotta do, you know what's right for you, you know what you wanna do. Step up and do it. Moon in Virgo, you know what's wrong with you, you know what needs to be healed, you know what needs to be fixed. Don't put yourself fucking last, put yourself first and do it. So many people live their lives, focusing on what other people are doing and how they can help them, and they stay lost and confused about who they are and what's going to be best for them, when deep down inside, you know what's right for you, you know what's best for you, you know which way you want to go, you know what steps to take to have a better tomorrow. With this Moon in Virgo, focus on that. This is time to clean up. This is time to clear out. This is time to heal. It's time to get organized and focused on what the fuck you want. This is a Virgo. This is that earth energy. What do you want? Manifest that shit. Work for it. How are you going to get, where you need to go? And then as Mercury moves into Virgo the next day, and the Moon will be opposing Neptune, squaring Saturn, trining Pluto, that's when it's time to get that into your mindset. Mercury will pass the North Node. You'll know where exactly you need to be putting your mindset. You'll know exactly what you need to be telling yourself, what things you need to get organized in order to start moving forward. And as the Moon opposes Neptune, get focused and clear on yourself. It'll be squaring Saturn. That's when it's going to get a little bit tricky, because as both Virgo and Sagittarius are mutable signs and they're squaring each other, don't get caught up in, because Virgo wants to be right here focusing on this while Sagittarius just wants to run. don't, you know, you got to find the happy medium between that. You got to be able to work together of, okay, this needs to happen right now so I can get this future. This needs to be done right now so I can move this way, and all that kind of stuff. Don't get lost in the moment. Don't get confused. Don't have an anxiety attack. I know that's kind of stupid to say don't have an anxiety attack, but just be really aware of what you're putting yourself through. It's a really big week. And as it trines Pluto, you're going to find yourself doing things that you haven't done before. You're going to find yourself feeling things and expressing things that you haven't felt before, and that you haven't done in certain ways. So I really, like I said, be fully aware of what you're getting yourself into this week. Then the moon will go into Libra. It will be sextiling Mars and the Sun. This is putting that whole emphasis on the relationship with yourself, because then on Friday it will be conjuncting Jupiter. And as the moon sextiles Mars and the Sun, embrace your inner Leo, and as you're taking action, but take a step back and appreciate the beauty around you. Appreciate what you actually have, and you know, the relationships, the friends, the energy within yourself. That, back to what I've been talking about, this Jupiter and Libra thing. What's the relationship with yourself? What are your relationships looking like with other people? What's your relationships with, you know, with material things, and with what makes sense and what's morally right? Just take a look at everything and just appreciate where you are, because as we move forward, the moon will go into Scorpio, and that's when it's going to start getting intense. The moon will move into Scorpio, it'll be squaring the Sun and Mars, it will be trining Venus, Mercury will start opposing Neptune, and then as the Scorpio energy comes out, squaring the Sun and Mars, that's when you're going to feel yourself getting a little bit frustrated, getting a little bit getting a little hostile, getting really emotionally vulnerable, because now it's trining Venus, and now it's, you know, trining Neptune, and you know, you got to be very, like I said, just be very conscious this week. Be very aware of what you're getting yourself into and where you're focusing your energy. This week is going to be up and up and down and up and down. And when the moon goes into Libra on, what is that, Thursday? That's when that grand fire trine is going to end. This is when all of this intensity is going to finally stop for a little while, until we start building up again for the eclipse. And as you go into this, ride this fire energy as long as you can. However, once it's done, it's done. That's when the moon will go, that's after it's done, the moon will conjunct Jupiter and then go into Scorpio. So things are going to calm down, and it's going to start to get, as far as the whole, I should say, things are going to calm down as far as this whole fire energy and all this passion, all this excitement, all that kind of stuff. However, when the fire trine ends, moon conjuncts Jupiter, that's when it's time to chill out. It's when it's time to take a break. Like I said, take a step back, just look at everything, just appreciate where you are. Make sure you can find the inner balance within yourself. Don't get lost, don't get confused. You're not confused. You're very, very clear. You're just not letting yourself feel that way. And then as the moon goes into Scorpio, we're going to see a lot of intensity, a lot of inner emotions really coming out, a lot of exposing what the reality inside of you is. And that's going to be bringing a lot of things, a lot of realizations, a lot of feelings, a lot of things said, because now Mercury's moving into the home sign of Virgo. As Mercury's in Virgo, things are going to be said. We are experiencing, we're not in Mercury retrograde yet. However, Mercury's going to be retrograding exactly where we're at. There's going to be things said that aren't going to be, that you're not going to expect, that you're not going to want. And as the moon goes into Scorpio, expose this type of stuff. Don't let yourself block out these feelings. Like, it's getting real now. It's getting serious. Get fully aware this week. Become fully aware of where you're going, what you're putting your energy into and your intention, and go with the flow. Until this weekend, until you start to see the manifestations, the little tiny things left and right, just go with the flow. So that's all I got for you guys. I really hope you have a great week. That's about it. That's all I gotta say. It's really intense right now, guys. I just want you to be very prepared, to be very aware, because things are going to be happening left and right. They have been all week. So have fun this week. Be yourselves. You're not confused. You're not lost. You know what to do. And yeah, I will be seeing you guys next week.